Hello and welcome to Climate Check with me, Mary Mwiikisa. The rain season is in full swing and Lusaka City is flooding. Some parts of the CBD are flooded and are impassable, and some residential areas in Lusaka City are impassable, which is very, very sad because these are some of the things we can prevent if only we did the right thing collectively at individual level, at community level, and at national level. On Climate Check today, we'll be focusing on the flooding in the CBD, and also we'll be discussing ways in which we can prevent this in future, as well as the World Wetlands Day that was commemorated on the 2nd of February 2025. And so our staffer, Dominic Davis Chifumbe, attended the official commemoration and will be showing you some of the things that happened at the launch. Joining me on phone right now is the president of the Zambia Institute of Planners, and this is Mr. Vusiku Sulwe, to help us understand why we still talk about flooding in the CBD 3, 4, 5 down here's the line of the same story. Mr. Sulwe, thank you so much for making time on Climate Check.
Thank you very much for hosting us.
All right, now let's find out your role as the Planners Institute of Zambia in ensuring that there's adequate and sound planning in the CBD of the capital city.
Yeah, so for starters, I think that the public needs to know and be aware that we have the Zambia Institute of Planners that is responsible for ensuring that the cities that we live in are well planned. That is to do with spatially, whether it's environmentally, socially, economically. We are basically there to ensure that there's a balance in these human settlements and then to make them as livable as possible.
Okay. Now, with the growth in our population, obviously, we're speaking over 20 million Zambians. It is not the same scenario like it was 1964. 60 years down the line, we have seen the mushrooming of informal settlements all over the CBD. And this is also in various parts of the country, in most of these provincial towns. Now, let's focus on Lusaka. Being the capital city, obviously, it has its own pull factors why people come into the CBD for better economic lives and opportunities. What are you doing to ensure that the current scenario is aligned with our 8th National Development Plan? Because some people say the flooding in the city is attributed to informal settlements.
Partly, maybe that's just one of the reasons, but not all the reasons around why flooding is in the urban areas. Lusaka, to be specific, one, you, of course, rightly talked about the adverse effects of severe weather in terms of climate change. When we have floods like this year, you tend to experience that. So that definitely has an impact because maybe the drainages or the systems that were designed not for the amount of water that it's currently receiving. Sometimes the flooding is caused as a result of our disturbance of ecologically sensitive areas where we have built on these areas, and sometimes we have also blocked them. We have blocked streams. So where the water would have naturally been flowing in a stream, there are plots that have been put there and people have built over them, so creating bridges there. In some cases, we have even the roads themselves have not been well designed to an extent where the embankments on the roads, those hips that you see, because the road is usually elevated, they end up actually, acting as dam walls and then preventing water from crossing, and then the area that is before them becomes flooded. Sometimes it's due to poor drainage systems. In some cases, we don't even have drainage at all. But in other cases where you have drainage, the drainage doesn't lead anywhere. So those are some of the issues that do affect flooding. Also, the issue of excessive paving of areas, increasing runoff, where we want all our yards to be paved. So the runoff water has to go somewhere, so we increase how much water is actually running off elsewhere. And the other thing which is very, very critical is the issue around solid waste management, where people are indiscriminately dumping waste We saw the plastics that are actually clogging our drainages so badly. So there are a lot of factors. Yes, and planned settlements are definitely there because those just come up, and once they come up, they put up things everywhere and block every other thing that needs to be blocked. And as they are named and planned, meaning that there's no thought that goes into them. So it's not only the unplanned settlement.
You bring out a very valid point, which I think is overlooked when you say some of the drainages are leading to nowhere. So having a drainage is one thing. Having it drain the water into the specific place is another. How can we work around this?
Yeah, so that's an interesting issue. For example, in Lusaka, we have the Bombay drainage, right? That the Millennium Challenge drainage that was sponsored by the U.S. government in partnership with the Zambian government, of course. I think the idea there was that the Millennium Challenge would have done that main drainage, but there were supposed to be tributary drainages getting into it, feeding into it, which was the responsibility of the Zambian government. Unfortunately, those feeder drainages were never done. So you have got a drainage, but it doesn't have the feeder drainages there. So there is a lot of resources that we actually need to be able to connect these drainage systems. Unfortunately, sometimes, even when drainages are started in some cases, not only in Lusaka, they lead to nowhere. Sometimes you start wondering, what is the motivation? Is the motivation just to give a contract to someone so that they can have some money and then it ends nowhere? I think we should have a holistic solution to some of these things as a country. If we are going to embark on working on a drainage, let the solution be complete. Let us know where that drainage is leading to, where it's flowing into. And when we do the solution, let it be complete rather than just doing haphazard things. I think it doesn't lead us anywhere. We'll be basically bending rubber without getting distance.
Yeah. We have some places that are flooded in Lusaka, some residential areas like Ngombe in Roma, Kalingalinga, Mtendere, Kamwala South, and the CBD itself, Kulima Tower bus station, City Market area is flooded. And this is in Kanyama constituency, the City Market area. There was talk, I remember you featuring on one of our shows with the Ministry of Local Government, PS, where there was talk about the redesigning of the Kanyama constituency. How are we faring with that?
Yeah, so the government has funded about 300 million kwacha initially to do the Kanyama upgrading, and the focus basically has been the roads, and the works are ongoing. The Zambia National Service has been contracted to open up the drainages in those areas. So that is basically work ongoing, and unfortunately it's in the rain season, so the work might not be as fast. The target was that by the time it's rain season, we should have had that task completed.
That's Mr. Busikusule, President of the Zambia Institute of Planners, just giving us more information on city planning and many other issues surrounding the flooding that is happening in the CBD. This is Climate Check. Join me on the other side as I talk to Mr. Sam Mutambo, who is a climate change activist, who is with me right here in studio. Join me on the other side. You are on Climate Check, and we'll continue discussing the flooding in the CBD and many parts of the country, especially the provincial towns and places that are densely populated. But we have seen the severe picture here in Lusaka, as you can see our background. That is some part of City Market where traders are now, putting their merchandise on blocks, and there's flooding under those blocks, and we do not know how hygienic it is even for them to trade in those places. And joining me in studio is Mr. Sam Mutambo, who actually sent us that picture. He is a climate change activist. He is also into keeping Zambia clean, green, and safe. And of course, he is with us in studio. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here and share very, very important messages with the people out there, because this is our country.
This is our country, indeed.
So we should ensure that we make good use of it. Mm-hmm. So that those that are coming after us can also come and benefit.
Yes.
To the fullest. Yeah.
You have been firsthand in the CBD. You are always found there sensitizing the marketeers, bus drivers. Your work actively involves ensuring that the CBD is livable. The CBD is has got sanity for people to operate in.
Yeah.
Give me the status quo currently. What is the scenario like?
Yeah, as of now, when you look at the CBD, the situation during rain season is almost the same 3, 4, 5 years down the line. Yeah, so now the question is that what is it that we should be done once and for all, so that we can have sanity, in places like the bus stations, bus stops, and the trading areas like City Market. Because if you visit City Market this time, it's an eyesore. You can't like it. You can't like it. Why? Because all the drainages have been blocked. Smaller drainages have been blocked. People, all of us have thrown litter inside there, and the waste that we generate every day after conducting our businesses, some of our sisters and our aunties, they will just take their waste and dump it in the middle of Lumumba Road there. So now the question is, what is on their mind? Because they want to be selling there almost every day. And where they are selling there, that is the place where they get something, for their livelihood.
Yeah.
And some of them, from there, they take their children to school.
Yeah.
And they are able to look after, a lot of people there. Now, if again they have to be making the place where they are conducting businesses dirty, what kind of levity is this? Look at City Market. That facility was done nicely. I'm sure the president for the Zambia Institute of Planners will agree with me that when City Market was being planned, such institutions, or maybe some of the officials from that institution were involved.
Yes.
Yeah, to ensure that in come rainy season, the water should be flowing nicely, should be flowing nicely, going to the right places.
Yeah.
But now what is happening this time is everything. Ladies, traders buy mangoes, those which are not being sold, they leave them in the small drainages. That big drainage there, it is full of waste, it's full of plastic, paper, and all those.
So in your engagement with these traders, bus drivers, marketeers, when you talk to them, what reasons are they giving for what they are doing? What are they saying about what is going on?
They say government Yanganepo. That's why I came up with that song.
Yeah.
I came up with that song. I sent you a video.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. I sent you that video, about government Yanganepo mindset. Because this environment is ours. The government is not there to see what we are doing every day, to keep an eye on us.
Everywhere we are.
No, the government is not God, Mwiikisa. Yeah, the government is not God who keeps an eye on us to guide us. But it is us who have to reason. You see, as I said in my preamble, it is us who have to look at what we are doing and what is it affecting. Is it harming the environment?
Yeah.
Is it good for those that are coming after us? In one of the songs that I did in Shona, there was a voiceover in Shona which was saying, we are all visitors here on planet Earth. So let's not behave like we've gone to a party, and when we are full now, we start damaging all the plates, the spoons, the pots, and everything, as if we are not going to eat tomorrow. So we should take, a good care of the environment. So the people, each time I would go there, like when I was taking those pictures there, Mwiikisa, the lady said, well, Rasta, this is good. Government Yanganepo, apa Yanganepo. I asked her a question. But now, look, you are selling...
Is it government that's through the litter?
Yeah. Is it the government? It's us. I said, it's us, you and me. We throw litter in the drainages here, which were built so that water passes nicely. And now look at what is happening here. And are we going to be selling food in such an unhealthy environment?
And people can't even go there to buy.
No, they can't go there to buy.
So they're losing customers as well.
Yes. And so as you look at it, this is a possible scenario for outbreaks of epidemics. Yeah. She said, but government Yanganepo. So I look at it from a point where we need to do a lot, to change the mindset of the people. Just like the homes where they're coming from in different compounds. Some of them, just as the president was talking about for the planners, he said some of the people that are coming from those unplanned settlements, where they can just throw litter anyhow. It's part of life. They've normalized it. Yeah. So that the same kind of culture which they've brought now in the CBD.
How can we ensure a mindset change among our traders, among our bus drivers, among those that are found in the CBD and are spending the whole day there trading and doing their businesses? How can we just work on this mindset? Because I think that is the main problem.
Yeah, we have to accelerate. I think we have to accelerate and intensify our efforts collectively. You, Mwiikisa, myself, and others there could be many that are doing the same activities in isolation. But those are the ones that we need to come together. Yeah, so that all of us, we come up with a force, a holistic force to go out there. And in fact, I'm likely to go out and conduct sensitizations in certain compounds, especially those that are cholera prone, such as Kanyama, Chawama. I'm likely to start my activities there just after the rainy season, even before that. So the idea is here to flood the people with messages. Remember during the HIV, there was that common saying, if you are not infected, you are affected. Meaning that if we are going just to live the way we are every year, living litter just like what is there on the picture, it entails that we are a people that are ready, to bring diseases upon us every year. And we've normalized that. We look at it as normal. Mvula Ikabwela is flooded, litter, dirty water there, just go on sale and people, but...
Are there bins where these traders are found? And also, when answering that question, are these traders where they should be trading? Are they in the right place? Because if they're selling from a place that was not designated for selling, they may not have those amenities like the bin, the toilet, and all that. But if they're in the market, then all those amenities are there. So number one, are there bins where they can dispose of the merchandise which is going bad, or are they in the right place for trading?
Yeah, I remember, was it 2 years ago when I was with a very good minister, Honorable Garin Kombo. He said, we've provided bins.
Okay.
Yeah, we've provided these where people can, dump their waste or throw their waste there. Yeah, but the same people, again, they go and get those and use them for scrap metal. Yes.
Wow.
Even in Cairo Road there, Mwiikisa, if you take a walk in Cairo Road, you're going to find there are some bins that are there, metal ones.
Yeah.
But at some point you are not going to find them, because the same people who are supposed to be using those, they are the ones that go at the goat's eye time, get them and go and sell as scrap metal.
Now, the World Wetlands Day was commemorated on Sunday, 2nd February 2025, and the official event was held in Lusaka at Hotel Intercontinental, where the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Sylvia Masebo, was guest of honor. And this year's commemoration was held under the theme, Protecting Wetlands for Our Common Future. Our staffer, Dominic Davis Chifumbe, attended the launch and filed in this report.
Zambia's wetlands account for approximately 19% of Zambia's total area. They comprise of natural lakes, man-made lakes, open river channels, wooded flooded areas, floodplains, swamps and dambos. A total of 8 wetlands have been designated as wetlands of international importance. However, World Wetlands Day is commemorated annually on February 2nd. This year, it was commemorated under the theme, Protecting Wetlands for a Common Future. Minister of Lands and Natural Resources spoke to the media on this day.
In Zambia, wetlands provide benefits and ecosystem services such as fresh water, food and building materials, flood control and groundwater recharge, and nutrient recycling. Furthermore, millions of Zambians directly depend on wetlands for agriculture, fisheries, livestock rearing, and much more through wetlands-dependent industries like tourism, commercial agriculture, and water transportation. For example, the Kafue Flats provides approximately 50% of the nation's hydroelectricity, 44% of water supply to Lusaka's domestic and industrial water users.
And Worldwide Fund for Nature Country Director Nalucha Ziwa called for collaborative efforts in the protection of wetlands.
Looking at the sustainability of wetlands for all, how are wetlands able to support the ecosystem, but also the other services that depend on them. So for us, in terms of that interpretation, we have lined up a number of activities which border around sensitization, largely because we have seen how the general populace don't fully understand the importance of wetlands and why it's important to conserve them. The reason being that Zambia is home to a number of wetlands, some of them quite iconic. We have, for instance, the Barozi floodplains, the Kafue Flats, the Bangweulu, and so many others. And if you look at the Kafue Flats, they are quite of significant importance when it comes to our national gross domestic product, GDP. They contribute close to 20% of the GDP of this country, largely because of the various economic activities that are happening on the plains. You have companies that are operating there that are largely dependent on the plains water, as well as also cattle, as well as beef, the industry, which is centered around the Kafue ecosystem. So for us, it's that importance that we want to bring to every Zambian so that we are able to conserve them together.
And Chief Natural Resources Manager Officer at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources emphasized the need to protect wetlands from encroachments.
In nature, the way it is that nature fights back. You build on a wetland, if it's a water table there, it will fight back, and this is why you find that a lot of problems we are witnessing. So what we are doing, what the government is doing, not only Ministry of Lands, but also other government agencies like Zambia Environmental Management Agency, for example, any developmental project that is supposed to be installed on our ecosystems, an environmental impact assessment should be done. But with the ministry, what we are doing is that any application for conversion of land, for example, from customary to title in wetlands, not in protected areas because it's not allowed, but in open areas that are wetlands, for example, Lukanga. What we are doing as a ministry through Natural Resources Management is that we are providing the much needed due diligence. So if someone is applying for land in a wetland, they are supposed to, for example, attach documentation. One is that if it's in customary, maybe the chief has to consent, the local authorities have to consent. Then when those things come to Ministry of Lands, we look at the area. If it's a seriously degraded area or a wetland that is under Ramsar protection, we are able to provide the no objection or objection, okay, as natural resources on behalf of the Commission of Lands.
From reducing the impact of floods, absorbing pollutants and improving water quality, wetlands form an integral part of our natural world. Dominic Davis Chifumbe, reporting for Climate Check in Lusaka.
Thank you, Dominic, for that report. And indeed, we cannot overemphasize the role that wetlands play in biodiversity and in our well-being and the well-being of our planet. We have come to the end of Climate Check for this week. You make a date with me next week, same time, same channel. In the meantime, you do your part to take care of the environment. My name is Mwiikisa. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.